Hello everyone, I'm Zulina Mohamed, Senior Deputy Director of Green Technology Division of MIDA. Today I'm going to talk about government facilitation for the green technology industry. First of all, let me share with you MIDA in brief. MIDA was established in 1967. We are one of the agencies under the Ministry of International Trade and Industry. We are the government principal agencies responsible for the promotion of investment in the manufacturing as well as some selected services sector. We assist companies that intends to invest in the manufacturing and services sector in Malaysia. We facilitate and enhance the implementation of their projects. As the first point of contact, we have 5 key functions. Firstly, promotion. We are responsible for the promotion of FDI and DI in the manufacturing and some selected services sector. We do evaluation of application for manufacturing license, tax incentive, expatriate post duty exemption for manufacturing, principal hub, as well as some other selected services sector. We also carry out planning function where we do formulation of policies and strategies and initiative for industrial promotion and development. As for the monitoring function, we do licensing and incentive compliance and monitoring mechanism, determination of effective date of incentive, and issuance of final certificate. Last but not least, we also assist and enroll companies in the implementation and operation of their projects. MIDA is one of the agencies under MITI along with other agencies such as MATRID, MPC, HTC, etc. in order to further enhance MIDA's role to assist investors. Senior representatives from key government agencies are stationed at MIDA HQ. They are responsible to advise investors on certain government policies and procedures. These representatives include senior officials from Immigration Department, Custom Department, Labor Department, TNB, and TM Berhad. We have established a global network of 20 overseas offices covering Asia, Europe, US and Australia to assist investors interested in establishing manufacturing projects and services in Malaysia. Investors are encouraged to discuss their project interests with MIDA offices at MIDA HQ in KL or at its overseas closest to them. We also have 12 state offices in Malaysia to assist investors in implementing their manufacturing projects and services. The Malaysian government continues to ensure that the country remains an attractive business destination for investments. In our aspiration to achieve a high-income economy, we are doubling our efforts to attract investments and drive productivity and innovation through political, economic, and regulatory reforms. These efforts have received worldwide recognition by various international institutions. In terms of investment performance for the country, for the period from 2016 to 2019, we successfully attracted an average approval of RM 200 billion of investments a year. As you can see from the slide, in terms of approved investment in the manufacturing sector, FDI approval has been on the rise for the period from 2016 to 2019. With a robust economy, stable social-political climate, skilled workforce, and developed infrastructure, Malaysia remains a preferred economic and trade investment destination for international investors. Countries like Japan, US, Singapore, Germany, and the Netherlands have chosen Malaysia for the investment location outside their home countries. Now let's move on to the next topic, which is the investment strategy and policy. As the execution agency for the nation investment agenda, MIDA focuses on generating quality investments in new and emerging technologies as well as strategic projects. Quality investment will help create quality jobs that in turn will provide opportunities for us to become a high-income nation. We are very selective in attracting potential investment, which should have special features such as high technology, high value-added, knowledge base, and having strong linkages with domestic industries. Apart from creating business ecosystem, we are also able to implement business-friendly policies that will support business productivity and profitability. In terms of equity ownership, foreign investors are now allowed to hold 100% equity ownership in the manufacturing and some selected services sectors. They are also given the freedom to repatriate income and profits back to their home country with no restriction. To implement project in Malaysia, they can also apply expatriate posts from MIDA. For companies that have achieved the shareholder funds of RM 2.5 million and above, or employing 75 or more workers, you can submit your application via EML, a new digital platform for manufacturing license for new project, or manufacturing license for expansion or diversification project, or exemption letter from obtaining manufacturing license or ICA 10. Now we have come to the topic, which is tax incentive for green technology. In 2015, Malaysia pledged to reduce GHG emission by 45% by 2030. We have also set target to achieve 20% RE capacity mix by 2025. Under the 8 Malaysia Plan, the government introduced renewable energy as the fifth fuel with 5% target of RE in energy mix. And during the 9 Malaysia Plan, National Renewable Energy Policy and Action Plan and REPAP was approved by Cabinet in October 2010. The government continues to formulate policies and implement strategic initiatives and RE programs to ensure the targets can be met. This can also be seen in the 10 and 11 Malaysia Plan. In Budget 2014, the government announced the provision of green investments tax allowance for the purchase of green technology assets or investment in green technology project, and green investment tax exemption for companies undertaking green services. And as announced in Budget 2020 last year, these incentives were extended until year 2023. The objectives of the incentives are, first, to encourage investments in green technology industry on a project basis, either for business purpose or own consumption, and for the adoption of green technology by selected services or system providers. Second, to encourage companies to acquire or purchase assets that have been verified as green technology asset by MGTC, and these assets are listed under My Hijau directory, and to widen the coverage of green services to include solar leasing activity. There are two types of green technology incentive. First, green investment tax allowance of 100% of qualifying capital expenditure incurred on green technology project for 3 years from the date of first capex. The allowance can be offset against 70% of statutory income in the year of assessment. The unutilized allowances can be carried forward until they are fully absorbed. The qualifying activities include renewable energy, for example, solar, biogas, mini hydro and geothermal. Second, energy efficiency. Third, green building. Fourth, green data center. And fifth, integrated waste management. The second incentive is income tax exemption. The first one is income tax exemption of 70% on statutory income for qualifying green services, where the period of incentive is for 3 years, starting from assessment year of the first invoice related to the green technology services issued, and the date of the first invoice shall not be earlier than the date of application received by MIDA. So the qualifying activity under green services include renewable energy, energy efficiency, electrical vehicle, green building, green data center, green certification and verification, and green township. And there is a new incentive introduced under Budget 2020, which is income tax exemption of 70% on statutory income for solar leasing activity for a period of up to 10 years of assessment. So the criteria for GITA, investment tax allowance, first, company must be incorporated under the Companies Act 2016. Second, company must achieve the following green result: must conserve the use of energy and other forms of natural resources or promotes the use of renewable energy or recycle waste material resources. Second, minimize the degradation of the environment or reduce greenhouse emission. Third, promote health and improve environment. Company which has incurred first qualifying capex before application made to MIDA is not eligible for this incentive. Special for green building, company must submit application form together with the provisional green building certificate, for example, design assessment or actual assessment, etc. And must make sure that before the completion of the green project, besides company which has already obtained the final certificate or equivalent is not eligible for this incentive. The qualifying capex can be backdated not earlier than 3 years from the date of application received by MIDA, but not earlier than 1st January 2020. Criteria for green investment tax exemption. First, company must be incorporated under the Companies Act 2016. Second, company must meet the following green services. First, employing at least 5 full-time employees, including at least 2 competent personnel in green technology. Second, company must have green policy related to environmental or sustainability, must have documented SOP to ensure quality of services. 100% income must be derived from the respective green technology services, and company must undertake at least 3 qualifying activities from the respective green technology sectors. And for solar leasing, the criteria will include employing at least 5 full-time employees, including at least 2 competent personnel in green technology. The income must be derived from sales of electricity or leasing activities. Assets must be incorporated in the RPVI balance sheets. Company which has undertaken solar leasing project and issued the first invoice before application made to MIDA is not eligible for this incentive. This is application procedures for the green technology incentive. First, you need to check on your eligibility, whether you can apply for ITA or ITE for services or solar leasing. Once you check your eligibility, you can qualify to apply. You can submit your application form by completing the GTGA forms. And after submission to MIDA, we will check on the completion of the information. We will prepare an evaluation report to be presented to the National Committee on Industry. Once the decision is made by the NCI committee, we will convey to you the decision by issuing an interim approval letter to you, and the effective date of submission for green technology incentive under Budget 2020 starting from 1st January 2020 until 31st December 2023. After you are granted with green technology incentive, you are required to submit application to determine the effective date of incentive and verification to MTC for GITA or GITE services, to SEDA for GITE solar leasing, within 12 months from the date of MIDA's approval letter. This must be done before you submit tax form to IR. For the period from 2016 until June 2020, a total of 1,184 GITA projects with investment value of RM 18.2 billion were approved. As for GITE, a total of 61 applications with total OPEX of RM 311.6 million were approved by MIDA. Let's move on to another tax incentive for green technology, which is Eco Park. In Budget 2016, the government announced the provision for the development of Waste Eco Park (WEP) for the developer, manager and operator. The tax incentive for Waste Eco Park developer is income tax exemption of 70% on statutory income derived from rental of building or rental received from the usage of waste collection and separation facility, or rental received from wastewater treatment facility located in the Waste Eco Park, effective from year assessment 2016 until year assessment 2025. In terms of eligibility criteria, company must develop infrastructure within Waste Eco Park incorporated with the following elements. First, basic infrastructure, for example, roads, drainage system, utilities and sewerage, building and facility for waste receiving and separation. Third, wastewater treatment. Fourth, building for recycling, recovery, treatment facility. The next one, building education and awareness center and or disposal facility. The minimum amount of investment in fixed asset should be Rm50 million excluding land. This Waste Eco Park must be approved by National Solid Waste Management Department (JPSPN), relevant waste authorities, state government or local authority. The effective submission date starting from 1st January 2016 until 31st December 2020. The incentive for Waste Eco Park manager is income tax exemption of 70% on statutory income derived from services activities, including management, maintenance, supervision, and marketing of the Waste Eco Park, effective from year assessment 2016 until year assessment 2025. The eligibility criteria include company must be appointed by the Waste Eco Park developer to provide services activity approved by the government. Company is not allowed to import waste from other countries and must report waste received processed to Waste Eco Park developer. The effective submission date starting from 1st January 2016 until 31st December 2020. The incentive for Waste Eco Park operator, income tax exemption of 100% on statutory income for a period of 5 years, derived from the qualifying activities undertaken in the Waste Eco Park, or income tax exemption equivalent to 100% of qualifying capital expenditure incurred within a period of 5 years. The allowance can be offset against 70% statutory income for each assessment year. The eligibility criteria, type of activity include waste recovery, recycling and treatment. Waste Eco Park operator needs to periodically submit to Waste Eco Park manager all data on waste received, processed, sold to domestic or export market, and company is not allowed to import waste from other countries. The effective submission date starting from 1st January 2016 until 31st December 2020. Now let's move on to the promoted activities for waste management industry under the Promotion of Investment Act 1986. There are two categories of activities promoted for waste management. The first one, environmental management, recycling of waste. These include toxic and non-toxic waste, chemicals, reclaimed rubber. This is applicable to all industry, for example, metals and alloys, chemical, textile, E&E, and etc. Second, agricultural waste or agricultural byproducts. Example of activities, processing sugarcane mill waste, rice mill waste, palm oil mill, estate waste, and etc. to manufacture value-added products, for example, animal feed, fertilizer, and pellets. The incentive, either in the form of pioneer status, income tax exemption of 70% of the statutory income for a period of 5 years, or investments tax allowance or ITA, 60% on the qualifying capital expenditure incurred within a period of 5 years to be offset 70% of the statutory income. The condition which will be imposed to the approval. Conditions will be imposed for recycling activities. First, for waste recycling, companies are not allowed to import waste. And for biomass product, minimum value added requirement is 50%, and managerial, technical and supervisory or MTS ratio is 25%. We hope that the government facilitation and incentive for green technology project and services will benefit you. For further information, please contact us.